Hey, how you doing there again, folks? Me again, of course, Brandon Wenzel. Come back at you, another offering off my sampler platter. Yes, indeed, folks, and play every series of videos I've been doing for a little while now. Go over there, try out food and drink items. I eat stuff, I drink stuff, then, folks, I'm going to talk about stuff. I'm going to let you know all that you need to know about hopefully delicious stuff. That time I'm doing this, folks, I'm not going to lie, this one is kind of my lunch. So, yeah, just figured I'd tag it in. But we'll get to that. Folks, it's a super simple format. I'm going to go over there. I'm going to try out food and or drink items for you. Whilst I'm doing so, I'm yammer on about it for a bit. Whilst I'm doing all that, I'm inside my truck. And whilst I'm doing all that, folks, I'm wearing grody work clothes. Typically, when I'm inside the truck and I'm wearing grody work clothes, that means that I was on my way home from work and I found some shit to review for you. That is definitely the case in this instance. I got off of work about an hour and a half ago, something like that. And all intents and purposes, I was pretty much just planning to head home initially. But I was like, shit, man, I got to get some supplies. Normally I go to Walmart, but in this particular instance, I needed gas before I got my supplies. I wasn't going to make it to Walmart on what I had left in my tank. So I had to go in a different direction to get to the gas station I got my gas. I'm like, fuck it, man, I might as well just, keep going, go to a different supermarket. So, where did I end up? What am I reviewing for you, folks? Well, it happens to be, boom, it's a sandwich. Specifically, a corned beef and Swiss on rye sandwich. Ooh. From a place called Mariano's. Mariano's is a Illinois-based supermarket chain, kind of a little bit higher-end supermarket place. And I've reviewed a few things from them over the years that I've been doing this show. Usually I review like their sushi and stuff. But this was kind of my first time being over in their like little pre-made fresh sandwich area. I just got through reviewing one of their sub sandwiches. Go watch that review. And I was just going to leave it at that. I didn't want any trouble. But they had a corned beef and Swiss on rye. And I was like, ah! So, what with this being from a local establishment, even though it's a supermarket chain, I'm going to put this in my Eating Out Illinois playlist, which is a playlist for just local spots. Last time I had a proper corned beef was from the Corned Beef Factory, which was it's still there. It's another local spot. Go watch those reviews. I don't think this is going to match up to that, but we're going to get into it. So let's open it up. And like I said, this one's pretty much my lunch. I'm going to review part of it, and then the other one is going to be for later. All right. Ooh, okay. All right. Oh, you can smell the rye. First and foremost, let's get a thing for the thing. It kind of, something like that. It looks like that. Or maybe like that, yeah. Ha 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 ha! It looks like that, maybe. Ha ha ha. Let's go ahead and let's give it a go. I mean, it doesn't look the most impressive, if I'm honest with you, but... Oh, okay. I'm going very up and down with it. Because, like, the flavor sort of... There's moments where it hits, and I'm like, okay, there we go. That's what I'm looking for. That's that proper corned beef on rye. And then it kind of falls away, and then it comes back. It falls away. Like, it bounces around. Okay. I mean, one thing that immediately is a little bit here or there, I appreciate that they put the veg on there. You got the lettuce, you got your tomato. I would have maybe left the tomato off. As much as I love tomato on a sandwich, problem is, this whole bottom part is just squishy now. That's the problem when you put veg on, one of the problems, when you put it on a pre-made sandwich. It's just, but I could live with that. All right, the slightly squishy sandwich, that's fine. But yeah, man, I don't know. Like, I'm really not getting like the proper bite from the corned beef that I want. The lettuce is still crisp. Point for that. Yeah. again, you get waves of it, you know. There's moments when it feels like it's going to really taste proper, and it just never quite reaches that crescendo, you know, just kind of, yeah, that's really a shame. I was actually really looking forward to this. I mean, it's not bad for what it is, but the thing is, corned beef, for me, corned beef is definitely one of, like, my favorite lunch meats. Roast beef probably edges it out a little bit, but it depends on the day. Um, Here's the thing, though. Corned beef is one of those things that descended from the heavens to make a life worth living for mankind. I'm not saying it's the only thing, but it's one of them. It's a wonderful, decadent thing, and it should be enjoyed in a wonderful, decadent scenario, you know? And this isn't that. You know, this is very much here, you want a corned beef and rye on the go. Here you go. That's all there is to it. I mean, and that's what it is, to be fair. You know, it is a pre-made sandwich, so, you know, I try to keep my expectations a little bit more reasonable. But with the corned beef, man, it's one of those things where it can't be even a little bit underwhelming. You know, it really does need to hit hard. You know, the best corned beef I've ever had was from a place called Manny's Delicatessen in Chicago. In fact, I did a review for it, but I had to delete it because I fucked up the review. I'm still mad about that. That was a $20 corned beef sandwich. Oh, but it was so good. It made my day. And even going to the corned beef factory, like, those sandwiches are really solid too. It's just too meh. You know, there is some corned beef flavor there, but not enough comes through. Honestly, I think I think the tomato was just honestly a waste of time. Not only do I think it kind of hurt the bread, but even on top of that, like, I don't really think, like, it helped with the flavor, you know? Like, it just... And I like tomato on a sandwich. It just... The rye bread does taste pretty good. I'll give it that. Obviously not as good as, like, properly fresh made, but it does taste like a rye. But yeah, man, it's just... Unfortunately, this is one of those things where, like, it sounded great on paper. I thought I'd really, you know, scored a nice little win for myself. Yeah, it was just not that great. That's a shame. But, two questions have to be asked. Would I get it again? Would I recommend it? No, and no. I think for me, when it comes to pre-made sandwiches, I've reviewed a lot of them. By the way, I also just got through reviewing this. A-Shock Swirl Pop. Go watch my review. I reviewed plenty of pre-made sandwiches, and I have run into some that have genuinely surprised me, where I've thought they were really good, really, you know, solid representation of the sandwich they were supposed to be, even being pre-made. This is not one of those instances. It's just, I think a corned beef needs to be freshly made. I think it needs to be done by a proper deli. I just don't, it's one of those things where I don't think that you should lessen your standards on something like this, you know? Some things, absolutely. I think some things, hell, even a roast beef. I'll get a roast beef from 7-Eleven every now and again. It's not a great roast beef, but it's workable for what it is. Corned beef, though, it needs to be that special. And this, for me, is not only not that special, but it doesn't even come close, you know? It's really disappointing. And if I'm recommending it to anybody, I think not only, first of all, just do yourself a favor and get yourself a proper sandwich from a proper place. But even beyond that, they have other sandwiches available. Like I said, I just reviewed one of their sub sandwiches. Their sub sandwich, I'm going to let you know this right now, was a lot better than this. It had certain similar problems, but the overall presentation and execution definitely worked out a lot better than this. So for me, if you're going to go for a pre-made sandwich from Mariano's anyway, go for one of those. Leave this one behind. And if I very rarely do this, but if by some happenstance somebody from Mariano's happens to, you know, see my video, ditch this one. Seriously, save the corned beef. You know, you guys have like a proper little deli setup and everything there. Make that like a signature item. You know, make the corned beef sandwich like a special to, like 2-order thing. Oh, that would be wonderful. Do that, and I'll fucking review it, and no one will care, but I'll care. Anyway, 5 things before I get out of here. Have yourself a great rest of your day, spectacular rest of your week, monumental rest of your month, stupendous rest of your folks. Go over there, have yourselves a truly proper corned beef-tastic rest of your life. Don't fucking skimp on it. Final 2 things. Number 1, try to bring some positivity into the world. It's not always possible. It is, however, always appreciated, but what you do if you can't do it all the time. I know I can't do it all the time. Here's what you're going to do, folks. You're going to try not to be an asshole. Folks, not always the easiest thing in the world to not be an asshole. Trust me. I know it. I live it. I'm out there every day with you in it. Life can be stressful and frustrating and just bullshit sometimes, folks. And when we find ourselves in situations where we have to deal with said bullshit, it's important that we go over there whenever possible. Take a step back. Try to mitigate the level of assholishness in our lives. Hopefully, do better for ourselves and for those around us. Very final thing, folks, do the thing. Whatever the thing is for you, that's what I want you to go out and do. Folks, here's what I want you to go out and do. Now, mind you, my audience, it might be vegans or vegetarians, what have you, I'm going to get you covered too. But for the folks, who aren't of those persuasions or what have you, get yourself a proper corned beef. Like, make that a thing that you do after you watch this video. Go over there and watch my sorrow, and in celebration of the excellence that is corned beef, avenge me. Avenge me by getting yourself a really good corned beef sandwich. And hell, comment about it. Tell me where you got it, how you had it made, how good it made your day. I'd love to hear about that. And again, for all of my vegan, vegetarian friends, or people who maybe just don't like corned beef, if you have a particularly favorite or special food item, by all means, fuck it, man. It could be carrots covered in ranch dressing. It's not my jam, but hey, maybe that's yours. Hit me up and let me know about it. That's just cool stuff to learn. Anyway.